If you hold cryptocurrency, 3 updates you need to see. And even though XRP might be the bigger story, let's start with Mark Cuban. OpenSea investor Mark Cuban says the NFT marketplace removing royalties is a huge mistake.
This is a video about OpenSea, the NFT marketplace with everything for everyone. For everyone. For everyone.
So most of you have heard by now that the NFT platform OpenSea will now have optional creator fees for new collections on August 31st and for existing collections by February 29th, 2024.
Including people who don't really know what NFTs are.
Meaning if you're an NFT artist that uses OpenSea, you may no longer get royalties. Mark Cuban had a problem with this. He says, not collecting and paying royalties on NFT sales is a huge mistake by OpenSea. It diminishes trust in the platform and hurts the industry. And I say this as an OpenSea investor. Now, this exchange took place on Twitter. Somebody actually replied to Mark defending OpenSea. He says, anyone in the NFT space that is shocked by this obviously has had their head in the sand for the last year. OpenSea didn't have a choice unless they wanted to lose all market share. Now we need to fix the tech so royalties can't be avoided, meaning just encode it into the blockchain so these third parties can't mess with it. But until then, if people don't have to pay them, then sites will always exist that remove creator royalties. It's a flaw in the tech, not an OpenSea issue. Mark Cuban clapped back, saying, no question the fact that they can't be enforced across platforms is a problem that needs to be fixed. But the optional royalty approach kills future applications that go far beyond collectibles, which is where the most money will be.
We put more money in your pocket too, with royalties on every sale after the first sale, like the second sale, the 100th sale, all the sales.
But OpenSea's reasoning was, the platform said it was making the change to do away with the ineffective unilateral enforcement of NFT royalties without removing them completely. It is also worth mentioning that Yuga Labs SLAMS OpenSea shift to optional royalties. They are one of the biggest brands, biggest companies in the NFT space, and they're actually now severing ties with OpenSea. In light of OpenSea's announcement yesterday that they will be sunsetting the OpenSea operator filter they introduced and moving to an optional creator fees, Yuga Labs will begin the process of sunsetting support for OpenSea's Seaport for all upgradable contracts and any new collections, with the aim of this being complete in February 2024 in tandem with OpenSea's approach. So they're done. And this was a direct statement from their CEO that for as much as NFTs have been about users truly owning their digital assets, they've also been about empowering creators. Yuga believes in protecting creator royalties so creators are properly compensated for their work. Now, as all this is happening, XRP holders are wondering what's next, because you already know that the SEC is appealing the Ripple ruling that XRP token is not a security, meaning that the SEC disagrees with the judge. The SEC wants XRP in all forms to be labeled a security. Attorney John Deaton explains the judge's ruling and talks about what's next.
And what people need to know is that Judge Torres did exactly what the SEC said and requested. The SEC said, here are different categories of sales. There's institutional investor sales, there's programmatic sales on exchanges, and then there was some XRP given to employees or independent contractors who didn't pay for it, but just was sort of given to them. And we believe each one of those categories violate the law. And so all the judge did, and remember now, Gary Gensler and the SEC has said for years now, it's very simple. It's very simple. The clarity is, we've given clarity. Howie is the clarity. Howie is the test. Yeah. So the judge then took their different cells that they segregated and applied the test to each one of those cells with the evidence, and then she came out. Now, did some people say, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense, Joe, because institutional investors are accredited and they were determined to be securities transactions, but the unaccredited investors on the exchanges are not. Aren't the securities laws meant to protect the unaccredited versus the accredited? You know, and the answer to that is that's not the Howey test. The judge applied the Howey test. That's what happens, Joe, when you take an 80-year-old test
And
that
try to stuff it.
orange grows, right? And try
Yeah.
to pigeonhole it into modern day blockchain technology. Wait till we get to artificial intelligence technology and any other technology thereafter. So that's what happens. And Judge Torres, her job is not to say, well, wait a minute, what is the policy considerations in the 1930s? Does my result of the Howey test, and when I apply it objectively and fairly, does it comport with policy considerations from 80 years ago? That would be improper. There is no Howey factor that says what level of education or sophistication does the investors has. And so he's very confident. Listen, one thing I did right in this is I predicted that this was going to happen. I was on Fox Business and I said this was going to happen and Ripple might not get a complete victory. And Judge Torres did her job. She did it effectively. And I don't believe it's going to get touched on appeal.
Also, a big update from partner of the channel, Bitget.
Just a sec. I gotta make sure I win this digital auction for a super expensive priceless piece of digital art that I'm hanging in my virtual beach house. Done. Got it.
So for the many of you who watched Workaholics, they did announce a 1-year partnership with renowned actor and comedian Adam Devine, as well as a celebration for Bitget's 5th anniversary.
This morning when I woke up, I was just Adam Devine, beloved movie and TV star, and the voice of his generation. And now, look at me, a sophisticated art collecting avatar, straight up ballin'. Because that's the magic of today.
Now let me share with you this whole thing, but just to clue everybody in, established in 2018, Bitget is the world's leading crypto exchange that offers copy trading services as one of its features, serving over 20 million users in over 100 countries and regions, as well as over $10 billion in daily trading volume. The exchange is committed to helping users trade smarter by providing a secure, one-stop trading solution. You've probably seen the collabs with legendary footballer Lionel Messi. I personally love how transparent they are. They offer proof of reserves. They guarantee that they will hold 100% of users' assets in reserves and will publish its Merkle tree proof and platform reserve ratio on a monthly basis. Checking in today, their total reserve ratio is over 200%. That means Bitget holds more than 100% of user assets in Bitcoin, ETH, and stablecoins. Again, all this can be verified on chain. By the way, if you want to take advantage, you can always go in the video description of any video and sign up and take advantage of what Bitget has to offer. Get up to $5,000 in rewards plus 10% cash back. Now, obviously, that's after you accomplish certain things, like a deposit of at least $100. Only the first 1,000 signups get the full rewards, so like I said, link down below, and also receive $20, a $20 coupon just for creating an account. These are just things that I like. Link down below, check it out, take advantage of the rewards.
So strap in, buckle up, and hold on tight, because the haters are already set in their ways. But we're out here set for change. Whoa! Did you guys see that? That was crazy.
So let's talk about Bitcoin.
All right, Bitcoin hammered overnight. The whole crypto world was smashed, but particularly Bitcoin.
Because we know we had a massive dip. We just saw the biggest wipeout of Bitcoin open interest hourly resolution in over 1.5 years. So leverage got washed out of the system when Bitcoin crashed. Over $2.5 billion of open interest has been wiped out, equivalent to 25% of the total open interest. We also know that we've seen drawdowns like this before. And by the way, looking into 2024, this cycle in an awareness aspect is so different.
Speaking of politics, is there a presidential candidate that stands out with respect to Bitcoin?
You know, I think it's worth pausing and noting the fact that for the first time in history, there are 4 presidential candidates that have named a digital asset. Bitcoin, and they are advocating for people's freedom to hold it and transact in it. This has never happened before, and now I don't like to put politicians on the pedestal, but that's never happened before in history that we have 4 presidents.
You're not going to tell us who they are?
Presidential candidates naming Bitcoin. Vivek, Suarez, RFK Jr., and DeSantis all saying Bitcoin for freedom.
That's what you're here for.
That's right.
You're the ambassador.
That's right. Well, your show's called Making Money. Bitcoin's about making money better for everybody.
It's killing it this year. And you know, it's so funny. Almost every, I think in the last 10 years, Bitcoin's been number one, like 7 times at least, the number one asset 7 out of the last 10 years.
That's right. The performance speaks for itself.
It really
it's volatile
does.
in the short term, but long term, it's outperformed everything. And it's about economic freedom and really dignity, right? Because your dignity is tied to your self-worth. And I think that everyone deserves the chance to have financial freedom and be able to plan for their future and take care of their families.
By the way, be sure to join us in Bitcoin Amsterdam. Awesome conference. Use code Altcoin daily for 10% off your ticket. And click subscribe. You do not want to miss a daily video. See you tomorrow.